Horace Mann was born on May 4, 1796, and died on August 2, 1859. He was an educator and a statesman who greatly advanced the cause of universal, free, non-sectarian public schools. Horace also advocated temperance, abolition, hospitals for the mentally ill, and women's rights. His preferred cause was education, about which he remarked that while other reforms are remedial, education is preventative. Horace was raised in the Congregational Church in Franklin, Massachusetts, under the leadership of the Reverend Dr. Nathaniel Emmons. Mann was, by his own account, a gullible student of the teachings until he was about 14, when his older brother, by 4 years Stephen, drowned. After his brother died, the Reverend used the funeral to preach of the hell that awaited those dying in an unconverted state. Hearing his mother groan of pain, Mann suspended the Calvinist beliefs in a creator who could be so cruel. After graduating from Brown University at the Litchfield Law School, Horace joined the First Parish Church of Dedham, which is also known as Unitarian. After moving to Massachusetts in 1823, he opened his first law practice. In his first legal case, Mann successfully represented the First Parish Church of Milton in the removal of their minister, who refused to participate in the custom of exchanging his pulpit with his Unitarian colleagues. In the first year of his practice in Dedham, Mann was invited to deliver the local Independence Day address. When he did this, he outlined for the first time the basic principles that he would return in his subsequent public statements, arguing that education, intelligent use of elective franchise, and religious freedom are the means by which American liberties are preserved. The newly elected President John Quincy Adams was present that day, and impressed with what he heard, Adams predicted that Horace would have a distinguished career. While Horace was in Dedham, Mann served in the Massachusetts legislature for 6 years. In 1830, he married Charlotte, who was a daughter of a Unitarian president of Brown University. After the death of his wife 2 years later, Mann moved to Boston in 1833, taking up a resident at a boarding house. It was here that Horace began his lifelong friendship with many influential Unitarians. He then remarried to Mary Peabody in 1843. After serving 3 years in the state senate, Mann became secretary of the Massachusetts Board of Education in 1837. Most of Horace's educational policies stemmed from his belief in perfectibility of humanity and society through adherence to naturally revealed moral law. In his view, education allowed persons to discern the ethical demands of natural law, thereby creating a responsible and moral citizenry. During his tenure, Mann increased the funding available to schools, improved the preparation and support of teachers, and advocated the compassionate discipline. Horace Mann's most controversial work in the Board of Education involved his advocacy of non-sectarian religious education. Mann believed children in public schools should be taught the ethical principles common across Christianity, but not those doctrines about which different sects disagreed. However, Mann's compromise was possibly the only one that could have both satisfied the day's legal requirement for religious education in the schools and also allowed for the tremendous expansion of the leadership of the availability of public education to increasingly diverse population. Horace remained as secretary of the Board of Education until 1848, when he was elected to the U.S. House of Representatives and moved to West Newton, Massachusetts, where he helped to establish the first Unitarian church. As a representative, Mann was distinguished for his ringing indictments of slavery. During one of his speeches to the House, Mann claimed that slavery would abolish education if it invaded a free state, and education would abolish slavery if it could invade a free state. In 1851, Mann became the first president of the college, being organized by the Christian Church in Antioch, Ohio. At Antioch, he quickly fell under the suspicion of the more conservative members of the faculty, who accused Mann of trying to make Unitarians the entire student body. Mann uttered his most famous words at the Antioch's graduating class of 1859, 2 months before his own death. Mann said, "Be ashamed to die until you have won some victory for humanity."